What's up guys, my name is Ace, and the Season 5 update for Modern Warfare 2 is finally here, and with this, there's a handful of pretty good fixes and changes that came with this update. So today, we're going to be covering those changes in great detail, and also showing off before and after whenever applicable. And starting it off, the first thing I'm really happy to report is even though this wasn't mentioned in the patch notes at all, it looks like they have fixed the UAV bug finally. That bug was present for the entirety of Season 4, and with that, your location was revealed in real time by a single enemy UAV, which meant Ghost and Suppressors were basically 100% crutches throughout all of Season 4. Now, as far as I can tell, based on several matches of testing, the UAV is working properly, and therefore it just shows a snapshot of your location as it sweeps, rather than real-time information. So you can feel free to branch away from Ghost and Suppressor now if you'd like, or of course you can keep it if you want to stay stealthy. So there we go, that's the first thing, and honestly, the big thing I was hoping for with this update was just getting that fixed so we can get back to proper perk and playstyle balance again, without the ridiculous amount of snowballing we saw in Season 4. Now let's move into the weapon balancing, and when it comes to multiplayer, there was only one gun that was adjusted, and this is the RAPP in semi-auto only. So if you're using it in standard full auto, you won't notice any changes, but in semi-auto, they increased the fire rate from 423 rounds per minute to 531 rounds per minute, so you will be able to spam that a little bit faster. Then on top of that, they increased the damage while in semi-auto. However, with this, the limb damage was untouched, the lower torso damage was very slightly reduced, but the upper torso and headshot damages were significantly increased. And these significant increases here more than offsets that lower torso damage reduction. But with this, we now get a far better 3-shot kill potential, because you can now get a 3-shot kill to the body out to 57 meters as long as you're hitting upper torso shots. And also, headshots are far more powerful with this now. You can get a 2-shot kill to the head, again, out to 57 meters, which is pretty great. So this actually may be worth checking out if you guys haven't tried the semi-auto RAPP. Give it a shot, maybe you'll like it. After that, like I said, that's it for weapon balancing changes that affected multiplayer, which honestly isn't too unexpected at this point. I honestly think they've got weapon balance in a pretty solid state right now, although I haven't taken a look at the new weapons yet. Of course, the gun guides for those will be coming within the next few days. I hope to get them out. Now let's move on to the movement adjustments, and the first thing is they buffed sliding a little bit. The first thing they did with sliding is they decreased the amount of time that you slide for, but they increased the total slide velocity, so you can cover the same distance with a slide in a shorter period of time. And when you play it back to back, you can see that you carry that velocity a little bit further through your slide, and also you complete the process of sliding faster, but like it says in the patch notes, you'll cover the same distance just within a shorter period of time. So that is quite nice. I do like this adjustment to the slide. However, it's not the only thing they buffed with this. They also slightly reduced the slide to fire delay, so you can start shooting your gun a little bit sooner after you engage into a slide. Now, this isn't a massive change. It's not like you can just fire your gun immediately or immediately after the sprint out time would complete. There is still an additional delay added there for sliding. But pre-patch, from the moment you initiated your slide with a Vaznev, it would take about 550 milliseconds to fire your gun, whereas post-patch, it's now 450 milliseconds. So this is a noticeable buff in this area, but I still don't think sliding around corners, for instance, is going to be like the best option to be challenging people aggressively. Next up for movement adjustments, they did adjust jumping a little bit, but these were very slight adjustments that are hard to even see. Now, the first thing they did is there was a small increase to the lateral velocity boost while jumping, and you can kind of see that here. If I'm just spamming jump while trying to strafe with the Vaznev in my hands, you can see that post-patch, I am covering more ground a little bit faster. I'm not sure how practical that's going to be in the game, and if that's going to have a massive impact on the gameplay experience, but it is slightly less punishing in that area. On top of that, though, there is a small reduction to the landing slowdown penalty, and you can see this whenever you land, there's a slight recovery time before you can start strafing again at your full speed. And honestly, even watching this in slow motion, it's hard to see much of a difference here, if at all. So again, these jumping adjustments, unlike these sliding adjustments, I don't know if they're really even going to be all that noticeable in-game. Then let's move on to the drill charge. There was a slight adjustment here, and this is when you stick an enemy, pre-patch, this would like drill through them, and the drilling itself would kill the enemy before it could explode. Post-patch, they've clamped that, so it looks like you can only deal a maximum of 15 damage when you stick an enemy player from the drilling itself, and then it will explode and kill that player, which just provides a larger opportunity for death from explosion. After that, I just wanted to point out a bug with the Recon Drone. If you let the Recon Drone hover and it takes damage and then you go back into the Recon Drone, pre-patch it would still show it as full health, whereas post-patch it will now show you the accurate health amount on that. Then there was a very nice adjustment to Quick Fix. This is something that I think would have helped a lot of people explain some questionable deaths in the past, because many people don't understand how Quick Fix works, and the game didn't do anything to tell you when the enemy player had Quick Fix equipped. Now it does. So as we can see here, when the enemy player is standing on an objective, Quick Fix is always going to be active, which means the moment they take damage, they immediately start healing from that damage. And this has led to a lot of confusion in the past, people wondering why it's taking so many bullets to kill somebody when they're near an objective or on an objective. 99% of the time, this is the explanation for that. They're using Quick Fix, and now you can actually see that they're using Quick Fix. Additionally, a small quality of life update with Quick Fix as well is if you are using Quick Fix, previously it would only show you that Quick Fix icon that you're healing immediately shortly after a kill on an enemy player, even though it would also activate if you touched an objective. Now they've just made it so when you touch an objective after being hurt, it will show you that your Quick Fix has activated and your healing has immediately started. So there we go, those are some nice changes to Quick Fix. Would have been nice to have this in the game much earlier on to help eliminate some confusion. And speaking of eliminating some confusion, another really nice quality of life update that they added with this season is there's a new widget on the screen that provides info when you die to an enemy player. You guys have probably noticed this by now if you've been playing at all, but after you die, it'll show on the top right how many hits that you took from them and how much damage each player dealt to you. So if there are multiple players that have shot you before you died, you can see just how much damage each of them dealt to you. And this is just another one of those excellent little quality of life improvements. I hope this carries over to Modern Warfare 3. It's a bit unfortunate to see some of these really nice changes come so late in the life cycle, because at this point, so many people have just completely checked out and they're not really playing this game anymore. They're not really interested in the game anymore. And it would have been nice for more people to experience these great features earlier on. Now finally, for the main landing page, when you first boot up the game, this has changed as well. And while I think aesthetically it does look a little bit nicer now than it did pre-patch, it's still that same annoying style of menu where you have to scroll horizontally to get to your options. Not everything is displayed on the screen all at once like you would tend to see with a vertical screen, and it just doesn't really feel intuitive unless you're trying to look for a movie or a TV show on Netflix. So yes, it looks different. Yes, it looks slightly better in my opinion, but it doesn't really make it any easier to navigate, and I still am not a big fan of this style of UI at all. But maybe that's just me. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that in those comments down below. In either case, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. In all, when we look at the content that we've got, which I haven't talked about at all in today's video, but there was a lot of content, combined with these patch notes, I would say there are definitely some nice solid steps forward with Season 5. Again, I still get that feeling that it's a bit unfortunate that a lot of these solid steps are coming so late in the game's life cycle, and it would have been amazing to see a lot of these fixes and improvements and changes. So in that sense, it's a little bit bittersweet. Now, of course, I do want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What are your general thoughts and feelings regarding Season 5 based on the patch notes and the content that we've seen so far? Are you generally happy with these additions and changes to the game, or not so much? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.